Hi everyone, it's Nat here. Hope you're all doing well. I'm on for my next video for my November design team project for Whichcraft Do You Do. So today I'm going to be focusing on decorating some of the pages in the Christmas journal that I'm doing. So I hope you enjoy it. So here's one of my signatures that I'll be putting into my Christmas journal. And I've been using the Christmas Papers set one as start pages for my signatures as well as within the signatures, as you can see here. They're just gorgeous. They go really nicely with your vintage and tea-dyed papers. So that's what I've been doing, and I've been mixing them up with my tea-dyed papers and my vintage ledger papers, that sort of thing. Just really, really nice. So I've made 3 signatures like that, which I'm hoping to fit in, but it depends how bulky they get. I might have to cut it down to 2, so we'll see. I haven't got much room to grow in the cover that I've found to put these in. So what I'm doing is going around each of the kit pages with a bit of ink. And I'm also doing the same just with my tea-dyed pages at the moment, just to vintage them up a bit. So I'm just grabbing them like this, just going around. I think I'm using my ground espresso, so it's quite dark. Just getting a bit on the edges, and a bit goes in a little. Take the whiteness away. As you can see, I'm not being too careful. And I do both sides, and then I do the same with my tea-dyed pages. I just fold it back the other way to do the other side carefully if I can. And I fold it back. We can put it back onto our signature then. I'm not quite sure which way is the right way up. But whatever looks aesthetically pleasing will do. I think it was that way actually. So it just grunges the edges up a bit, which is nice. And as I said, I'll be doing this page, so it fits in quite nicely. I'm not bothering doing these pages unless when I go to embellish, I feel that it needs it. I won't ink all the pages. It just gets too much then. But I do like doing the digi pages because they do get the white edge on them. And I think it looks nice on the tea-dyed pages as well. So I will be doing that as I sort of go along. So the next thing I want to do is start, thought I'd do one of the signature cover pages with you guys. So just put this to the side. And I do have this beautiful tag from the kit, which I love, and I want to use that. Now I want to back it first. So I'm going to back it onto this. It's just a book fly leaf. So I think I'll back it onto that and just leave a bit of a border around there. So again, I will ink this first. Now what I've done with all the tags is spritz them with tea dye. They were beautiful colours, nice and bright, but because I've got this sort of vintage thing going in this journal, I thought I'd just tone them down a little bit with a spritz of tea dye, and I decided to spray them because I did use an inkjet printer, so I was a bit worried that if I dipped them in the tea dye, the ink would run. So, but the spritzing with the tea seemed to work really well. And it's because I've got like really, this photo mat paper is quite thin, unfortunately. I used to get a photo mat paper that was nice and thick like cardstock, so I wouldn't have to back things. but it will look nice with this green poking out anyway, I think. So we'll stick it down like that and then just cut the border around. Now the tag's just a bit curled up from the tea spray that I put on it. It should flatten out once we get it onto backing paper. So we'll try and position it so we don't have to cut a couple of the sides for the border. That's not too bad. Grab my scissors. This is where I cut or crooked. Could be worse, could be better. That looks quite nice. So that's our tag piece done. And then I've also got this piece, which is from Vintage Pages and Ephemera. So I want to use that as well. And this is the signature that we're going to use it on, a cover page here. So I've already inked around this piece. So we want to put that on. But I'll have to ink around that. And I'm debating whether to sew or not. Same around the tag. And we want to put the tag on as well. Offset a bit like that. And then I've got some of this lace. And I think I might put that down so it looks like the tag's tucked in, but the tag won't be tucked in, it'll be stuck down. But I might leave the tag open as a tuck spot there so we can tuck a little journal card or something in. So that is my thought with that so far. Do we want that on an angle? Maybe. Now the other thing is I do have something on this side and I'm just debating whether I want to sew that first. If we do, we're not going to see it too much, so that might be the go. So I'm just going to go and sew around here first. Now I did this yesterday. It's just a bit of a placemat that I had that I chopped out, and a book page journaling card. Some of the beautiful sari silk that I got from Whichcraft Do You Do. And this is another piece of the Vintage Pages and Ephemera there that I've used. So I'm thinking I might just sew around that just to, it will strengthen the pocket nicely. So we'll do that and then we'll come back and get on with this. So I've sewn the pocket down the bottom just with some cream thread there. So now we're ready to fix up this piece. Now I'm just going to cut a tiny bit off the top. We don't need that much blankness on top. Just make it a little bit shorter. And I'm thinking, even though it doesn't work too well, because it's not thick paper, I might just go along with my, I've only used this once before, my little distresser edge thing. And just distress the edges slightly, just to rough them up a bit. I don't know how you meant to use the thing, but this is how I'm using it. Just got to be careful because I don't want to rip the paper too much. Give something for the ink to grab to. And we'll give that a bit of an ink. think I'm trying not to feel the need to have to sew everything in this journal. So I might just put that down. There, methinks. Then we've got our tag. That looks really good, actually. I'm happy with that. Now I'm just debating whether I want to put a eyelet in or a little bit of, I know what I do have. It might be in my little pile of stuff here. I do have. It's quite nice. It's quite bright though, isn't it? It's a bit hard to coffee dye that stuff too. I do quite like it though. I do have some other lace, which is quite bright too, but it's more vintage style. I think that looks a bit better. Maybe we'll put that on. I'll just use a tad of fabric glue to stick it down, then I'll debate stitching it. Leave that to dry a bit before I do it over the back. Now I've got a ribbon here, which we're thinking of doing on a bit of an angle. So we'll just chop a length of that off. I think this is the wrong glue, is it? Oh no, that's the right glue. Getting confused, I've got too many glue bottles. Okay, I've just put my mat down. I'm sorry, I'd forgotten how bright it is with the contact. I used to have better contact under here, but I must go and get myself some more. So I've just gone and sewn along the top of the tab there. Just, I like the way it finishes it off. Doesn't really do anything because we won't be pulling it in or out or anything. So now I'm going to stick my tag down, just down here and across there, leaving it open as a tuck spot. little bit of an angle. I've got my fabric glue to stick down our ribbon here. I'll do that on an angle about like that. So I might just get a bead of glue along each edge. And then a bit in the middle. Get our positioning. Now, should I open it up? What I might do is just put my greaseproof paper in between the pages. Would be sensible. Stick it down. Now hopefully when it dries we won't see the glue through the ribbon there, or else I might have to rip it off and do another bit and not do glue in the middle there. So we'll see how that comes up. Now we'll just let it sit and dry. We'll see what happens. Okay, so it's time now to trim our little material bit here, if we can, carefully. That's nice and neat. We can even cut that side back a bit more if it bothers with cover closing, which it shouldn't. I can stick these bits down more if I need, but they should be fine as they are. So that's looking really good actually. And what I have done for a little tuck spot is I've made this little journaling card. So that's out of one of these pieces from the Christmas Images and Ephemera set one. That's where the tag come from also. And as I said, I have spritzed these with tea dye. You can see some of the spludges, splats, spots, whatever you want to call them, around there, which I really like the look of that actually. So I've used one of them, just backed it onto some tea-dyed cardstock that I had to make it a little more sturdy. And I've inked it up a bit. Needed a little bit more somewhere that I saw just before, but I can worry about that later. And that slips really nicely just in there like that. Adds a bit more writing spot. So that is the cover page for one of our signatures there. We can now stick that back on. And that looks great, so I'm really happy with that. So I've got a whole pile more left to do. So I might look at doing another page with you now. So I have one of my tea-dyed pages here, which I have inked around. And I have this little cute little gold doily here. Now I'm going to ink that, and I thought I'll ink it on the page, so I sort of use it like a stencil. Not sure how it will turn out, and if I don't like it, I can just swap this page out with another one. It might dull down the doily a bit, but I doubt, because it's very glossy and slippery and that. But I do want to use this doily as an embellishment in this journal as well afterwards. So I thought, well, we might just use it with some ink first, and then we can use it as an embellishment. So I'll just get some ink going here. I thought if it does dullon it down a bit, that'll be nice. But we might as well do it on a page and see what sort of a pattern it makes. Whether we like it or not. Oh, that looks looking quite nice. Oops, don't move it, Nat. I think I did, but that's all right. Let's have a look. Oh, yeah. Just thought it will add some interest to one of the barer spots on the page. That's beautiful. Very much like that. So that can go back into our book now, which is just in here. And it's the back of this signature, just making sure I've got it up the right way, which it looks like I do, that I would like to use this as an embellishment on as well. Yeah, that does look like the right way. And as usual, I have inked around the edge of this. So I'm thinking of putting it there, of course. And I have this little circle, which is a part of the embellishment kit as well. So of course we've got to ink around that, if I can stop throwing my little ink tool around. Clumsy as usual. And it's got my tea dye splotches on it as well. So we want to put that on. So this is really, really simple but effective. And I also have this ribbon which I've cut into a bit of a banner there. So I can put it either underneath, or I was thinking underneath this part. Yeah, I think it looks better like that. So that's what I am thinking of doing with that. And I think that's a nice little embellishment to put on the back of this signature. So we will do that. So I might layer it up, and I might just stick this down first since we know where it goes. Now, because it's so sort of shiny, I might use my 450 fabric glue. Well, my Helmer's fabric glue. It's not 450. So you either get the 450 or you get the fabric glue. They're similar things. Look, it's taken the colour off of the doily. Strong stuff. I'd hate to know what it's made of. I asked them once and they wouldn't tell me because it's a secret recipe. But to keep me quiet, they like sent me a whole lot of freebie glue, so that was all right. No. Yeah. It's not quite on centered, but that's all right. Wouldn't be me if it was. Look at the colour that I've got. Oh, I reckon that's the ink that we got all over the doily. I'll wipe that off. And again, we're probably better off using this glue again to stick this part on. The only problem I have with the fabric glue and the Helmer's and this type of glue is that if you get it on your prints and then you try and rub it off, it will rub the print off as well. And I don't find that an issue with the other glues, like my tacky glues and stuff. So I've got to be a bit more careful. Just a bit of thread there, which we don't really want poking out. that's made a really cute little embellishment. The circle just fits perfectly in the centre of that doily, which was lucky. So now that can sit on there. Now, just thinking what I'm going to glue this down with, and I think what I might do is run some of my tacky glue, which is Helmar's as well, that I use in this little pot. I'll run this around the edge here because that won't damage the print if it gets on the print. And that'll just help hold these edges down. And then I'm going to put some of my fabric glue in the middle. Okay, and stick the banner down if it bothers me like that. I'll contemplate. Might stick it a little bit or else it might just curl up. But I'll do that with my Kmart fabric glue here. Got 10,000 different glues, but it's worth it really to have different glues for all the different bits. Once you work out what works best for you. I'll just stop it curling up. Very nice. I mean, I could have made it into some fancy tuck spot or something, but there's only, you know, once you make everything into a tuck spot and that, you have trouble fitting the signatures into the cover. So sometimes it's nice to have just embellishments on a page. And I really like that. It's a nice, simple embellishment. The digital looks beautiful like that. And it's sort of dressed up that plain sort of doily. It was great to use that because I found a few of them in the second-hand shop and they're quite vintage, I think, these ones. But they're quite bright being that gold, so it's nice to have something to stick on the top there. Okay, so that is that. So we've got a bit done, haven't we? We've done those 2 pages now. So I think I'll end this video there. We've got a fair bit done today. So you can see how I'm using all the beautiful digitals from Whichcraft Do You Do. And if you're interested in any of them, the links will be down below to Whichcraft Do You Do's store, as well as the individual digitals that I'm using for my projects this month. So take care of yourselves, be good, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.